Salutations friends, welcome back to my channel. Today's video, I'm going to do a video I haven't done in almost 4 years. It's been 3.5 years since I've done this video, and it's a love at first sniff video. Now, since it's been so long since I've done one of these, I decided to narrow the fragrances to 10 fragrances and share them with you and kind of talk about why I chose the ones that I did. So if you'd like to know, love at first sniffs for me, fragrances that rocked my socks, then keep watching. Now, I've included 3 newer fragrances to my collection that I've gotten, I'd say, within the last 6 to 8 months, maybe within the last year, and then older fragrances I've had for a few years since it's been a long time since I've done one of these videos. Most of these fragrances were purchased. I think only 2 of them were sent to me. And for the most part, these are all fragrances that isn't just fragrances that I loved, but I immediately loved almost before they were completely dried down and fell even more in love with them as they developed on my skin. Now I'm going to go through the older ones to the newer one. This first fragrance is one that a friend of mine and also my SA at Neiman Marcus was like, "Kristin, smell this fragrance. I thought of you when I smelled this." And I smelled it immediately and I loved it. And this is a scent that took me a long time, probably a year or 2 to actually purchase, but it is one that I love so much. And it's from Memo Paris and it's Eau de Memo. Now, if I have reviews of any of these fragrances, I will link them below if you'd like to see my review, if you want to know about my thoughts on the breakdown of the notes, performance, longevity, things like that. Definitely check the description box below. But this fragrance immediately blew me away because I love leather scents and I like very common, rich, decadent, sultry, masculine leather fragrances. I love mysterious, sexy, feminine leather fragrances, but I also like it when leather takes on a life of its own. And in this fragrance, it's just so bright and beautiful, but it still has this crisp leather in there with this tart apple. It's just really beautiful. And this is the type of fragrance that, I love the presentation, the birds are cute, but the smell of this just smells so good on the skin. If you are a lover of leather and you want something that you can wear in spring and summertime that doesn't smell too heavy, too cloying, but is bright and crisp and uplifting, Eau de Memo is an excellent fragrance, and I fell in love with it immediately. I am a lover of vetiver and I love very strong, grassy or dry or vegetal, earthy. Like, you can't go wrong with this note. And one fragrance that when I immediately tried it, it was on my mind for I think a year. It was on my mind for a long time. It's from Acqua di Parma Note de Colonia 2. Now this fragrance is a vivacious, light, slightly grassy, slightly dry scent. It's more on the masculine side than the feminine side, but I don't care. Anyone can wear it. It is a unisex fragrance. And there's just something about the way that this beautiful note just plays in harmony with this fragrance on your skin. It just smells amazing. If you are a lover of this gorgeous note, you have to at least get your nose on this scent. It is fantastic. Now, you can find that on gray market sites now, or you used to be able to find it on gray market sites, but when I purchased that, I purchased it full price and it was just under $500. And that's how much I loved that scent, as I was willing to buy it full price because it is a fragrance that I love and I was addicted to and I missed. When I first smelled it, they actually gave me a sample of it. I wore through my sample and I was like, oh, I need to get my hands on this scent. It's so good, because I was just kind of addicted to it. And I still do. I wear it a lot. It is a great scent. Another fragrance that I am addicted to, but I'm very mindful about how I wear this fragrance, is from Penhaligon's, and it's the Remarkable Success of Mr. Herod. I talk a lot, and I mean a lot, about this fragrance. This is on so many top 10 lists. If you love oud, if you like complex scents, if you like rich and just very luscious and mysterious and sexy woody fragrances, the Remarkable Success of Mr. Herod is amazing. Now, when I purchased this fragrance, I purchased it blind, and you can only get it, at least at the time, I'm not sure now if it's even still available or if you can get it other places. I'm not quite sure what's up with this fragrance. I haven't done much research on it. But at the time, you could only get it either in Penhaligon's in the UK or at Harrods. Now, I live in the United States. So I had a friend, I purchased this fragrance, or I gave her the money to purchase this fragrance, and then she was coming over to the States and she carried this for me over to the States. So I bought this completely blind. I think it was just under $300 when I purchased this. And I opened it, I was so excited to smell it, and I was just like, I was just wearing this. She had brought this over when I went to Dallas for the Guerrilla Perfumes event, and I was trying to wear a lot of Guerrilla Perfumes, obviously, if I'm going there for an event, but I just found myself wearing this fragrance nonstop. It was amazing. I just couldn't stop wearing it. It was so good. And I just feel that there's like a deep, dark, dried fruit note in here, which pairs really perfectly with the oud, and it tames the oud, but you still get all those, you also get those beautiful wild kind of animalic notes of oud, but it's not challenging. It's a beautiful, complex, riveting, woody fragrance without the challenging notes of oud, but without the beautiful complexity that that amazing note has. And I just adore this fragrance. I'm very sparing with this. I do wear this a lot. I know it doesn't look like it. I am an oversprayer. I told you guys I do like to spray a lot, but I don't just overspray any fragrance or every fragrance. There are fragrances you do not overspray, and this is one of them. One spritz, maybe two if it's really cold, and I'm good. So I think I've only sprayed this like 20 times because sometimes I even do half a spritz. But I do wear this a lot, but you do not need to overspray that one. So that's gonna last me a good long while. Now this fragrance I just reviewed, and I just got this bottle in my collection recently within the last week or two. But this is a fragrance I've had decants of for years, probably at least 2 years. One of you guys actually had turned me on to this. I forget which one of you were like, have you tried this fragrance? And I was like, no, I haven't. And then around that time, like I'd say a year after, I got a lot of requests when I started really highlighting tea fragrances on my channel and really talking about tea fragrances. You guys, have you like this? Have you tried this fragrance? Have you tried this fragrance? And I just remember, I think I either ordered a sample or decant of this, or I had somebody like do a swap or give me something or send me something. I forget exactly how I got my first decant of this. I remember it being like 8 ml and going through the atomizer, and then anytime I had an opportunity to get, like if someone was like, hey, you know, you want to swap a decant or sample, if they have this fragrance, I would get it. And I think I bought it someplace too, I forget. And that fragrance is Oolong Cha from Turkish House Nishane. Just reviewed this fragrance, gorgeous scent. I love the way that embraces the oolong tea note as an oolong tea, not as its own unique tea fragrance. I mean, it is its own unique tea fragrance, but they didn't say oolong and then it smells green or black or like Darjeeling or anything like that. I like that it smells like if you were to smell fresh oolong tea leaves. That's what it smells like. It's got a beautiful brightness. It's got a slight milkiness to it. It's just a fantastic fragrance. And as a lover of tea, this one just knocked my socks off. I love it so much. So I've got three more of the fragrances I've had in my collection longer than a year, and then I've got the 3 that are newer. So the first one is a one that I also recently reviewed, and it's Lipstick Rose from Frederick Mall. Now there are a lot of iris fragrances that could easily have filled this spot, but I didn't want to just do iris or violet. I wanted a nice variety of different types of scents when I did this video. And so I chose this one because it's not only an iris dominant scent, but it's a beautiful balance of rose. And for me, this is near perfection, 10 out of 10 perfect scent. It's really hard to find fragrances like that, in my opinion, for me and what I'm looking for in a scent. I'm not saying that it's hard to find those scents in the wild from different houses, but for what I'm looking for me, a 10 out of 10 isn't just a wearable beauty. It has to be conceptual. It has to have some type of individuality to it, but still a wearability to it. And a lot of different things have to go in. There might be a lot of 8, 9s in my collection, at least according to me, but like a 10 out of 10, like this fragrance definitely checks off all the marks. It's just gorgeous and I love it. A friend of mine, I'd smelled this in the store. A friend of mine very generously sent me like 3 10ml decants. And I wore through all the decants. I finally had the opportunity to get this bottle. I think I bought this off of somebody. So I bought this as like a slight partial. I think they sprayed it like 3 times. I think I spent like $2.50 or $2.75. I don't exactly remember how much I spent. Just under full price for a full bottle, but love this. Love it. So fantastic. Now, I haven't talked about this fragrance much on my channel, or this house or this nose much on my channel, because I'm trying to not just regurgitate the same house, the same nose. I'm trying to give you guys a variety, but this is still my favorite nose. This is still one of my favorite houses, and this fragrance is just outstanding. And this is Grand Soir from Francis Kurkdjian. There's a lot of fragrances from his house that could definitely be a part of this list. But when I thought about fragrances that not only wowed me upon first sniff, but also have stood in my collection as fragrances that I wear and I reach for all the time, this is one of my most reached for fragrances from this house and this nose. I don't know if you can see, I know it doesn't look like that's much of a dent in a bottle, but for my collection and how I wear fragrances, this is a pretty decent dent. This is a gorgeous, rich, resinous, just really kind of syrupy, beautiful fragrance. I absolutely adore it, and it was one of the fragrances when I first purchased. I opened and I smelled, I was just kind of like, yes, this is fantastic. I can't imagine wearing anything else. I wore this one so much when I first got it, and I still reach for it all the time. And last for my favorites, love it for sniff scents when it comes down to older fragrances, I have New York from Armani Prive. Now, I bought this bottle from Depop. I bought it, it was brand new. The person had spritzed it once, and they I think that they're a blogger. It's one of the people that I do purchase fragrances from. They're a blogger, they own like a fashion blog influencer kind of thing, and so when they get all their gratis and all their free stuff, they sell it. And so she sells a lot of stuff, and so whenever she sells her fragrances, she sells them like super cheap, and I'm like, oh, I can get this $300 bottle for $50. I can get this bottle for like $70, you know. So I always go to her page every few days to see if she's updated, and she had this bottle there, and I was immediately just purchased it. I didn't read the notes. I was like, I want to try this. I love Armani Prive, and her stuff, especially her fragrances, sell so quickly. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna buy this. So I bought this. She shipped it to me like within 2 days, and I remember opening the box in the car, because I was at I get everything delivered to a PO box. I remember sitting in my car in the parking lot of the post office and opening the box and just spraying it on me and being like, oh my gosh, like saying an audible, oh my gosh, like it just smelled so beautiful. It's a gorgeous, powdery, complicated, complex, kind of old world glamour scent. It's just stunning. It's so stunning. I wear this fragrance all the time, all the time. This is one of the fragrances I wear in the morning. So I will wear this fragrance, say from like when I wake up. Sometimes I wake up at 6 a.m. Sometimes I wake up at 5:30. I'll wash my face. I'll kind of like clean up around the house. I'll walk into my perfume room, which is this room, which is on the other side of my house, which is a kind of a walk because my house is really long and weirdly shaped. And then I'll like come in here, and then I'll grab a perfume and I'll spritz and I'll wear it until I take my shower at like 1 or 2. And then that's when I start my day, you know, and I kind of like will run errands, I'll cook, I'll clean after I shower. So, you know, I'll wear it for like 5 or 6 hours. And this is the fragrance I love to wear in the morning. It uplifts me. It makes me feel as glamorous as a potato can be. It just smells so beautiful and so luxurious and so special. And an audible, oh my gosh, or oh my God, or I forget exactly what I said, but there was an audible response the first time I smelled this. And every time I wear it, it just blows me away. Okay, so now we're on to the 3 newer fragrances. Now, this next one is amazing. Amazing. And I do love a lot from this house. I own most every fragrance from this house. I haven't been able to purchase any of the newer fragrances just because of the car accident, and I've just been kind of more mindful, but I am going to make a large purchase from them and purchase the next 3 or 4 or 5, whatever comes out, new fragrances that are released, and it's Zoologist and it's Koala. Now this easily could have been B, but I really wanted it to be Koala. When you see another fragrance in my collection, you'll understand. This fragrance just, I thought, was so special. It's hard to find an aromatic eucalyptus fragrance that doesn't smell like Vicks Vapor Rub, that doesn't smell like medicinal. And I love this. This just smells invigorating and revitalizing and just uplifting, and that eucalyptus is just fantastic. It's almost addicting. And Koala was just one of those fragrances that I think I sprayed it once, and then I got on my computer and messaged Victor, and I was like, I love this. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. This is like, blew me away. And he was like, thank you. Like, I had to tell him like within like the first 10 minutes of me spraying this fragrance that I loved it so much. I had to. It was just amazing. So there are a lot of other fragrances from Zoologist that elicit really strong, oh my gosh, I love this responses, but this one just caught me off guard because of the eucalyptus. Because it's hard, again, to find anything with eucalyptus because it can easily pull to medicinal. And there are times I don't mind the medicinal eucalyptus, but I like that this isn't that. It's just gorgeous. Now, the reason why B wasn't part of this list is because Mellifera from Suga Parfums is going to be that honey scent. Now, I took a chance on this fragrance. I was excited to invest in this fragrance. I bought this full price. I think I spent, it was like $300. I forget exactly how much the 50 ml bottle of this cost. I spent a decent amount of money on this fragrance, but I always like investing in newer houses. I like investing in niche houses, and I like to invest with my money. I know the biggest impact I can have on creating new fragrances, supporting small indie houses, or up and coming bigger niche houses is best done with my dollar bills, because that's how I get support, you know, in regards to paying my bills and being able to afford fragrances is my business. So when he released this house, I was so excited. I was following it for a bit. I decided I was going to purchase one bottle. I was kind of between 2 or 3 different bottles, and I just decided I love honey fragrances, so I'm going to buy this one. And so I purchased it and I got it, and I love it. It smells like every part of a bee, or every part of honey. It smells waxy, it smells balsamic, it smells sweet, it smells powdery. It's the most complex honey fragrance that I've ever smelled, and I love it. Now, there's a lot of fragrances that have honey in it, but as a honey dominant fragrance, as a fragrance that's supposed to smell like honey and smell like bee parts or bee generated materials, it just smells so fantastic. It really is. It's gorgeous. And I love honey. I love honey scents. I love honey mixed as like a little note that kind of adds a little something special to a floral or a wood. And I absolutely love it as a dominant fragrance. And I think that Suga Parfums definitely hit it out of the ballpark. I think that's the correct sports ball analogy. And if not, I'm sorry, I don't know much about sports ball. But it's just gorgeous and blew me away upon first sniff, and I love it. The last fragrance is the newest fragrance in my collection, and this one was sent to me to review. And this is a fragrance that I was really interested in purchasing, and when I had the opportunity to get the bottle, I was really just very grateful. But also, this is a house I've never tried before, but this is a fragrance I was like super interested in when I first heard it announced. So when I heard the notes, I was like, yes, please. And it's from Unique Luxury, and it's the Beverly Hills exclusive. So this is the fragrance that was exclusively crafted for Beverly Hills Perfumery. Now, I'm working on a video that'll probably be out later this week or early next week, where I talk about every place I've ever purchased a fragrance from in regards to discount, full price, you know, and I'm going to be talking in depth about it. It'll probably be a longer video, like 30 to 45 minutes. gonna be kind of like an index, because some people ask me, where do I buy things? Or what's the price breakdown? Or, you know, what's the benefits of purchasing here from here? And I kind of want to do one video. And Beverly Hills Perfumery is one of the places that I've made a few purchases from that I just love. Their selection is amazing. Alan himself is so knowledgeable and so passionate and so enthusiastic about fragrance, and he's so delightful to talk to. I got to talk to him on the phone regarding this fragrance because I love it. What I like about this scent is it's tobacco and honey, but there's ambergris in here too. There's a lot of little nuances in this scent, but what I like is it's one of those fragrances that's kind of resinous and aromatic and warm, but the tobacco and the ambergris don't make it like it's a warm fragrance, but kind of cools it off. So instead of it being a hot fragrance, it's a cold fragrance. And I love that. I love when something kind of catches you off guard. And I do love tobacco. I don't really talk about tobacco too much on my channel. I talk more about leather and woods, but tobacco is a note that I enjoy, but a lot of times it smells very barbecue saucy on my skin. It's not that those fragrances smell like barbecue sauce. It's just a lot of time I see tobacco paired with fruits, and when it touches my skin, it smells like smoky barbecue sauce. And that's not a bad thing. I actually really enjoy that. But I like to see notes differently expressed on my skin. And I like that this is just a beautifully rich, decadent, gorgeously well-blended tobacco scent. And that's what blew me away when I first smelled this, is I think the ambergris gives it an aromatic coolness, a little bit of a saltiness, a tiny bit of a saltiness to it. Then he's got that gorgeous tobacco and this beautiful honey, and having not smelled too many things on my skin like that, this immediately, I was just kind of like, I love this. I absolutely love this. And it makes me want to buy every other fragrance from this house. Like, I was like putting all the fragrances in my cart. I was like, okay, this is where my fragrance budget's going for the next 2 months and going into this house, because it's just so good. But I was terribly impressed with this fragrance, and I had to let Ellen know. I was like, I love this, it's so good. And if you like very rich, luxurious, decadent fragrances, but you want something that's tobacco-centric, then give this fragrance a shot. It's magnificent. Love it. Loved it immediately before it was even dry on my skin. I also like the fact that it's linear, so you, from start to finish, you get this really beautiful, rich experience. Well, that's today's video. At the end of the day, I could have had 50 other fragrances as a part of this list, and I might do another video maybe in a few months, maybe 6 months, where I do like an updated or kind of go back into older fragrances and newer fragrances and kind of share this kind of old new love at first sniff video. But I kind of wanted to catch you guys up on fragrances that really wowed me. I like and love a lot of scents. I do. And I know some of you guys think that that's a problem when it comes to my channel, that I like everything. And I do. I don't want to say that I'm easy to please, but I've said this before, fragrances on my skin, a lot of different compositions, a lot of notes really just work. I've had essays, I've had friends, I've had family, I've had perfumers tell me that I have a great skin for scent, like a blank canvas. Like my body chemistry just works with a lot of different compositions. So when I smell things on my skin, more often than not, a lot of things are probably going to work better on my skin. That doesn't mean if something doesn't work for you and it works for me, that you're wrong and I'm right. Always trust your own nose, your own experiences. Don't listen to strangers on the internet when it comes down to, especially spending your money. Use us as entertainment. But when I smell scents that are love at first sniffs, it's not just, I love the way this fragrance smells. It's gotta be kind of like New York, an audible, oh my gosh. There's something about it that immediately gets me excited. I have to tell the perfumer or tell the creative director under the company how much I love it. I have to reach out and I can't stop talking about it. I can't stop thinking about it. I have to tell everybody around me how much I love this fragrance. In some cases, some of these fragrances, I got it and I was like, do I film a video now talking about how much I love it? But I know that I have to wear it for a few weeks in order to give it a proper review. I mean, these fragrances in each of their own unique ways are something truly special. I have to think though of the top fragrance though of all of these, the one that elicited the biggest response in regards to excitement, awe, just urgency to wear, just really just the most best, and I know that's not grammatically correct, fragrance that really just blew me away in regards to a love at first sniff is Koala from Zoologist. Just, I love it. It's amazing, but all of these fragrances are just fantastic. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I would love to know what fragrances you guys have tried, let's say within the past year, that you just blew you away, that were love at first sniffs. I know with the current state of the world, it's been harder to try things, so maybe that makes the ones that you found that are amazing that much more special. Let me know in the comment section below. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.